Hello, my name is Rashana Shelton, and this is my informative speech. Today I want to give a little information on psychological disorders. This subject came very interesting to me because it's just amazing on how many different disorders there are. The first disorder I would like to talk about is obsessive and compulsive disorder, which is an anxiety disorder. Obsessive and compulsive disorder is a psychiatric anxiety condition. It is characterized by repetitive behaviors, anxiety, difficulty coping with intruding thoughts, obsessions, ritual behaviors, compulsions. Obsessions are basically thoughts and images of real life events that have taken place or once taken place in one's life in the past. The more the other person ignores the person that has the obsession, the more the thought suppresses. It sinks deeper into the obsessed person's mind. There are 6 major obsessions. They are linked to OCD. They are a combination. They are contamination, doubting, ordering, religious, aggressive, and sexual. The compulsives are one's behavior that is constantly repetitive, constantly doing things a certain way, like folding clothes and putting them in a certain order all the time, and like one's not out of place or in a particular order, or washing the hands repetitively, things like that. Treatment for this disorder is exposure and response prevention, which is called ERP, or cognitive behavior therapy, which is CBT. Patients learn different ways to resist and control. My reasons for choosing this disorder is because one of my favorite movies is Obsessed. And I wanted to look more into why people actually get obsessed with a certain individual and why they act this way. They're obsessed with them like they love them and they care for them, but in the end they actually go out to hurt them. My next disorder that I have chose is ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which is a childhood disorder, but there's adult ADHD as well. But right now I'm just focusing on the adolescent. ADHD is known for a child having hyperactivity, and this could lead into adulthood. Most of the times children are diagnosed before the ages of 7. Reasons being that they are doing poorly in school, a lack of paying attention, they're getting in trouble. Also, they are very impulsive and very inattentive. When it comes down to being treated for this, the child is noticed to have ADHD before the age of 6. The only forms of treatment at that time is to have the child outplay their energy. Medication and counseling is often preferred choice of treatment and can be divided into 2 groups: stimulants and non-stimulant drugs. The stimulants are always preferred, but because it usually makes a child like in a zombie mode, it's not usually something that is recommended. The stimulants are to help the impulsiveness and to strengthen the attention span, like Strattera is the most popular non-stimulant to treat ADHD. It's usually used when a stimulant medication is no longer effective or causes a side effect. I like this medication because it makes a child focus, it calms them down, and it also allows them to still function as a child. I chose this disorder because of my son. He has ADHD and he is on Strattera. And I was as well, had ADHD as a child, and I was on Ritalin. So I personally understand and I live the side effects, and I understand the medicine and what it does. The last disorder that I have chosen is hypersexual disorder. Very interesting disorder. It's a disorder that basically defines sexual addictions. Hypersexual disorders are a condition characterized by a period of at least 6 months. Reoccurring intense sexual fantasies, sexual images, urges, sexual behavior. The chain of events that occur that shows the sign of disorders are engaging a sexual fantasy and urges, having repetitive sexual behaviors regarding emotions behind it. These sexual fantasies urge this behavior and not due to a direct psychological effect of certain substances. There are a lot of different signs to make a person with this order fall in this category, such as masturbation, phone and cyber sex, sexual behaviors, which different adults based on their consents they are involved with. There are different therapies that people can go through in order to overcome these disorders, like a drug program, and it's 12 steps to the sexual addiction program as well. I chose this disorder because it was just interesting. You hear about people having sexual disorders, but you never really know about it unless you look into it. And it's just interesting, just like a drug program has 12 steps for you to wean yourself off of being addicted to drugs. Being sexually addicted has 12 steps to it as well. And it's really funny that, or not really funny, but interesting to know that someone could be that overwhelmed or obsessed with sex that it can ruin a relationship, ruin your job, ruin daily activities, just like drugs can. It's basically like a drug, but it's sex. And it can actually put a damper on your life as well. I do hope that you enjoyed learning about the psychological disorders that I've actually researched and looked upon. I looked at www.Muhlenberg.Education Career Center. That's one of my resources. Also, I went to www.cliffnotes.com, www.disorderstopic.com, and www.allpsych.com, disorders.index. So I do hope you enjoy learning about psychological disorders and the ones that I've chosen. There are several different out there, so if you want to look up or learn more about different psychological disorders that there are very many, and there's so many that you would never even realize that there are. Again, my name is Rashana Shelton. This is my informative speech for Public Speaking 200.